Hey, what's going on? Miguel, host of Life Full Circle Radio. What's good? It's Sunday night because tomorrow night is the biggest concert of the year. LL Cool J will be in Atlanta, so that's where I'll be. I won't be here tomorrow night. So that's why we're doing Sunday, and it ain't football season. You ain't got nothing else to do anyway, so come hang out with us. All right, so today we're going to talk about a few things. We told y'all to slow down on that BET sale thing. And, Tyler Perry done bought BET. Why won't Tyler Perry do this? Why won't Tyler Perry do that? Because Tyler Perry ain't own BET. And it looks like Tyler Perry ain't going to own BET for the foreseeable future because Paramount has snatched it off the selling block. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to get into this conversation around these flash mobs that are going on around the country right now. These people are running up into Nordstrom's and Gucci and all these different stores, and they're robbing these stores ad nauseum, and it's getting crazy because what's going to end up happening is that y'all gonna get shot up. I don't know what you call them, GoFundMe's for folks getting shot up because they running up out. Because what's gonna happen is that even on these stores, which we found out in Georgia, Lululemon said don't go chase down people, they firing people. It's gonna be some vigilantes out there waiting for y'all, and so that's a problem. That's a real big problem. Michael Oher is in this. He wants his life back. He wants to be able to own his own likeness and make his own money. He got married recently, and I'm pretty sure that got something to do with it. Because his wife was like, "What? You ain't in the league no more, and these people own your can basically conservatorship, so everything got to go through them. Oh, that ain't gonna work, baby boy. We got to figure this shit out. So anyway, we'll talk about that as well, and something else I thought. I think that's it. All right, super producer.
What's up? How are you doing? Sunday night. I was prepared, and my computer said, F you. My computer said, F you, I was asleep. I'm not sure why we're even doing this right now.
Yeah. This is not what I do on a Sunday night. You know, this is the chill time. So anyway, it's all good. We can rock with it. We can rock with it. So a lot of stuff going on, which we didn't even put in the open. I guess there's some fear of a Hurricane Hillary. You know the right wingers are going to have fun with that.
Hit Baja California, and it's now in Southern California. It's a Category 1, which as a Floridian, I'm like, if you don't get out of my face with a Category 1, honey, that's Tuesday here in Florida or in Georgia.
Right.
Y'all like a Category 1.
But they also said there was a little mini earthquake too. So that's what you ain't got to worry. We ain't got to worry about that in Florida and Georgia. We had a couple of them in Georgia, but not like it out there. So this weather is doing what it's doing, man. It's nothing to play with. So for all of our family and friends out there in Cali, we hope you guys stay safe. And
my uncle is fine. Both of my uncles live in Southern California. My mom used to tell like, "Are you guys okay?" They're like, "Yeah, it just rained a little bit. We good. We about to go out and get some food." I was
right. What? Y'all know y'all don't know what to do in that doggone weather. All right, so let's get into it today. Something been flashing up on us like crazy. But let's start off with this conversation around BET, because BET, where everybody was all like, "Oh yeah, Tyler Perry, he about to own BET, and we gonna blah 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 and da da da." And then folks over there at Paramount says, "Let me what do you say? Hold my beer. Nah, we don't feel like we want to sell BET. We gonna keep that. We gonna keep that over here." So Paramount halts plans to sell majority stake in BET. Diddy, Tyler Perry, 50 Cent, Kenya Barris, all the usual suspects put their name in the hat. With one name they do not mention is Byron Allen, which he also was in it. And they said basically is that they wanted $3 billion for BET. Tyler Perry supposedly was willing to give $2 billion. We don't know what Tyler Perry is willing to do. Tyler Perry ain't said nothing. in the public about none of this. We've been speculating. All these bloggers been getting out here telling all these stories about what's going on, and don't nobody know what in the world is going on.
But let's
But
be real. The
yeah,
BT network is a dumpster fire. So what's the point of buying BET? And let me tell you why. BET had a couple of shows. Those shows got moved over to other networks. So what are you
hmm
getting when you buy BET? What premium content? Because also all the good
hmm
shows that everybody likes are on BET Plus, which apparently is not a part of the deal because BET Plus is owned by Paramount and they're not giving it. You're just getting
yeah.
dumpster fire BT network.
Well, let's give it a little bit further context. So there's a difference in the over the air, the network that the cable boxes, the Spectrums, the Direct TVs, and them they'll have access to. If it is
Yes.
true, I have not read what you said about BET Plus not being a part of the deal. If that's the case, then here's the irony in that because Tyler Perry is a part of BET Plus. That's why you see so much Tyler Perry content
Wait,
on
I was
BET
wrong. I'm
Plus.
sorry. I've been saying it wrong. The bids for BT Media Group, which includes the BET channel, BET Plus, VH1, and BET Studios, were said to range from $2 billion to roughly $3 billion. Now,
hmm
I still stand by what I said is that BET is still a dumpster fire because it includes VH1. VH1
hmm
had a bunch of really key shows that they had for a
hmm
long time. They
hmm
sold those shows to MTV. MTV
hmm
is not included in this deal. So
hmm
again, I still stand by there is not a lot going on the BET network. And
Yeah.
Tyler Perry's stuff is not that great.
Well,
So
well, I always say there's a market for everything and everybody, right? So you are correct. I always about the content. For people who don't understand how TV works, right? You've got people who own the networks, and then you got production companies that produce the content that goes on those networks. In some cases, the networks are producing the content themselves. In other cases, they're moving around. When you have this, going back, my God, 25 plus, almost 30 years ago, when you had all these networks that got brought together, now you're getting them to be breaking apart a little bit. And as you mentioned, MTV is the big dog. They always will have a bigger market. VH1 has a lot of reality shows, but if MTV is producing those reality shows and decide that the MTV studios is going to move that content away from BET and put it or and VH1 and put it on their network, then yes, they're basically hurting the value of the product that they're trying to sell. So they
yes,
they 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 got all the cards, right? And so if
they
they
do.
have all the cards, you're sitting back and you're saying, if you're trying to buy BET, is okay. If I buy this, as Kia says, dumpster fire,
Dumpster
I'm buying it because of the content that is there. But if you're pulling all the content away, then yes, that's an issue, right? That's an issue. Tyler Perry, and that makes me believe even more that Tyler Perry is the leader in this conversation because he's already got a footprint at BET. Now, mind
Yeah,
you,
but
whether it be Diddy or 50 Cent, I'm gonna let you come in. Diddy, Tyler
yeah,
Perry, 50 Cent, Kenya Barris. If any of them were in the conversation, it makes sense because they're all in the content development space. Because Diddy is doing it with Revolt. He's doing a lot of content development over there as well. So
hmm
because of that, I see what the play is. But to your point, it's crazy. This is not done. This isn't over. This is going to keep going.
no, it's not done and it's not over. And it if this would have been, let me think, 4 years ago, and they would have wanted $3 billion for BT, I would have said, "Ooh, that's not enough." Because think
Mm-hmm.
about what was on there 3 or 4 years ago. They had Being Mary Jane was on there.
Mm-hmm.
They had a couple other good scripted shows from Tyler Perry. They were
Mm-hmm.
running other good movies. BT was a platform you were wanting. And VH1 had a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of stuff that everybody wanted. It had
Mm-hmm.
Basketball Wives still. It had
Mm-hmm.
all the Love and Hip Hops. It
Mm-hmm.
had everything on that platform. And now it's just, what do you get for $2 billion? Are advertising dollars still running over to BET at this point? Like
Well,
they used to be.
are advertising dollars running over to terrestrial television like they used to? Or you've got options now. You got streaming services, you got and all of that. So that's where we're going. Well, that's where we are. And so when you
Yeah.
look at the terrestrial piece, you're saying, okay, um, and we know reality TV. Then you got to also factor in the writer strike, which is going on because
Yes.
going back
Yeah.
to where this all started, BET was started as a network when it had a relationship with the music industry, and they ran their videos for free. So they didn't have to do a lot of original content, right? I've discovered recently a couple of BET networks, BET Jams and BET whatever. They're not making a bunch of money with it, but that's the old model of playing music videos and all that type of stuff is reaching that
But that was
demographic.
everybody's old model.
That was
Remember
everybody's own
that?
model. Yeah.
Everybody's
BET,
old model was
MTV. It was everybody's
VH1.
model was that was the marketing model. Everything is now digital. Everything
VH1
is
is
streaming.
where they played all the old school music
That's where the
videos,
old
all the
school.
old rock
Correct.
and
It was
Sinead O'Connor and all
correct.
them.
Yep. It
And then
it
Flavor
was a
Flav came
network.
along.
Wh- When what came along?
When Flavor Flav came along with for the
With
what was it? I love Flavor Flav or what was it?
I don't know that when reality TV took over, and I would and I would say looking back at that time, you look at a situation where they still wanted to play music on MTV. They had the MTV Cribs, they had the original programming, and they probably
Yes.
said, okay, let's just start dumping stuff over here on VH1. Let's do this reality show stuff here. Oh, that really worked.
Love. Flavor of Love. That's what it was called.
Flavor of Love. There you go. And so, we're going to keep an eye on this story because it's not done. Everything is everything is for sale until it's not.
Let me say one
Yeah,
more thing though.
yeah.
If he does buy BET and he's
He
responsible
who?
now for all the
He
content,
who?
Tyler Perry.
Okay.
Let's say Tyler Perry.
Okay.
I actually would prefer Diddy to buy it because I feel like Diddy, with what he did for the Stars Network, he could come do for BET
That's
as a
50
whole
Cent
other.
did that for the Stars Network.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, if it's Tyler Perry, I'm hoping we can now talk about you getting a writer's room, you getting separate. You laugh, but it's true because now
I hear you. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
that's my thought. You get a bigger staff, you get writers, you get producers, you get different voices to come in.
It
It don't need to
works,
be all
kid.
black people.
It works.
What works? Don't you start with me about Tyler Perry.
Tyler been doing this for 30 years. And just because we are not necessarily his market, it works. And
I'm tired of fried chicken theater from Tyler Perry. Like I need something else.
but
I need
some of
him
these
to-
other shows, I don't watch them. I see the previews of these other soap operas. See, his whole thing now is soap opera drama, nighttime soap opera stuff. The sister
I know.
stuff and
Sisters.
whatever other. Yeah, I don't watch it, but I look at it like I can tell a market
The
that would love
Oval.
it. The over all that stuff is all for that type of market. So it is what it is. But when it's all said and done, as we're sitting back talking about how terrible his content is, he got a whole army base he done bought, that he didn't put a whole studio out there. He didn't shot Wakanda Forever and everything over there. He making bread, and so it's working.
He's hiring black actors, and me and Miguel are very pro Tyler Perry,
Mhm.
but we just think, I think that he just needs to get better
Don't be
better
speaking
shows.
with me.
Okay,
Don't
next
be
topic.
speaking with
Next
me. No,
I
you know
know.
how. There is nobody, anybody been watching the show, watching us for any period of time knows that we got to love type. We love anything black. Bottom line is we want to see black, but everything just like everything Diddy do is not for me. If you look at Revolt is amazingly programmed. Let me finish my thought before you frown your face. Revolt is amazingly programmed. It looks beautiful from a production standpoint. The content, I'm 50 years old. That's not for me. It's you know what I mean. That it's not for me. So I'm out here like make your bread and be the model.
That's what I'm saying. 50 Cent could do it. He somehow found something or got a right. I don't know what he did, but he took the Stars Network from what's that going on over there to everybody rushing over there to watch all that stuff. So
It's the model that 50 Cent has mastered years ago, which is the model of conflict. So that's a whole different conversation. And there's a documentary I just watched, the mixtape documentary that talked about it, and that's how he got started in the space, was 50 with that. But speaking of an unsolicited plug for the business, if you guys are in Atlanta, and I'm gonna be out of town, she don't even know I'm dropping this. This Earn Your Leisure lineup that's gonna be here this week in Atlanta is insane. If you don't know who Earn
you know
Your,
who did that?
huh?
Sorry, I was gonna put drama in this, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
But here's the thing. These are the people who's going to be in town here in Atlanta. Diddy, Robert Smith, one of the richest men in the world, Steve Harvey, Jeezy, the Earn Your Leisure crew. If you're in Atlanta and you miss this, I'm just going to be in Phoenix with my dad because I have to spend time with my family. But if you don't know these names, it's some monsters in the black media business space that are going to be all here in Atlanta. And coming back to, once again, I don't know if Tyler's going to be there, but Steve's going to be there, Diddy will be there, and some others. So It's gonna be pretty dope coming up.
Let me
around
be
the corner.
messy.
Go ahead.
Let me be messy.
Oh Lord, what?
DJ Envy has beef with the Earn Your Leisure guys because he is claiming that he made the Earn Your Leisure guys. He's the only reason why they have a platform, according to DJ Envy. And everybody in the Black professional space is like, you need to go shut your light skin butt up because that is not true. That is
so
not true.
so a lot of folks will say that going back to what I just pulled up, it was an interview that they conducted with Steve Harvey about 3 years ago that really catapulted them, and where people started to say, "Who are these guys?" They got 2 hours of an interview with Steve Harvey, and the next thing the folks I know over at Revolt, they got a great deal going on with them. They're doing a lot of marketing promotion with them. I saw that story run by my feed, and I haven't dug into what's going on with DJ Envy and the Earn Your Leisure guys, but it is what it is, man. It's you got people like Melly Mel out here beefing with Eminem, man. It's just the currency of conflict. That's just this is what these folks do. All right, so let's move on. So I want to talk about this situation which is going on with these flash mobs. And
Oh, yeah.
and this is crazy, man. For people who may not know, and it's happened a lot in California, but it actually happened here in Georgia too. I've seen some of the stuff happen here in Georgia. It happened in Peachtree Corner, which is not far from where I live, where they ran into a Lululemons and they stole a bunch of stuff. So people are running. These people are running. I ain't gonna say kids. I don't know who they are. They're running into these stores and they're just stealing stuff and just running out the stores, right? And the employees and the companies are telling their employees, do not stop them, do not keep them from doing whatever it is that they're doing, because from a legal ramification, to have one of your employees shot or some incident like that is obviously more detrimental to the company than just stopping someone who's stealing from you. But this is a story. I think this was NBC covered this out in California. Let's
Yeah.
hear what they had to say about what happened.
$1,000 in merchandise stolen as police try to track down the suspects. Good evening, everyone. I'm Colleen Williams. This happened about 7:15 tonight at South Coast Plaza. It's just the latest in a string of similar flash mob style robberies. NBC4's Robert Kovacic with the story. Robert.
And Colleen, we literally just got off the phone with the Costa Mesa Police Department. They say they were here within minutes. They gave us the details of what they know. And what we can tell you is these guys walked in with a specific merchandise in mind, and they walked out with it, with cars that were here in the parking lot waiting to whisk them away. And so far, they've gotten away with it.
Tonight, the alarming images, the violent smash and grab robbery in Los Angeles. A security guard sprayed. Police now say at least 30 people breaking into a Nordstrom, stealing up to $300,000 in merchandise. From Los Angeles to Miami, New York to Dallas, authorities are now witnessing a very disturbing trend. Here's Kena Whitworth.
Tonight, police in Los Angeles are searching for more than 30 thieves who stormed this Nordstrom in a brazen smash and grab robbery in broad daylight. Masked suspects smashing display cases and making off with up to $300,000 in luxury goods before racing away in getaway cars without license plates.
Oh my God. And all of a sudden we saw so many people running out of the store. We didn't know, we thought it's a bomb or something.
Officials say a security guard had to be treated after being sprayed with some kind of mace or
So not only are they running in there, smashing, grabbing Gucci bags, whatever it is they're stealing, but you got bear spray and you also spraying the security guard. So now, there's cameras everywhere, idiots. And I don't know if they haven't figured it out by now. They're going to figure out ways to track all of this content, to figure out where these people are going and where they're selling it. But I don't want to hear nothing about no GoFundMe's or nothing like that. When the vigilantes start sitting out in these parking lots, and then you start having some real incidents going on. This is insane, man. This love of fake luxury and materialism is gonna get a whole lot of people killed, and it ain't a good look because good and well. I don't even know what the right wing is saying, but I pretty much can surmise what they're talking about. That it's all about
These are brown
black
children.
folks. Right.
Let's just say what it is. We all know these are brown children. I mean, from the six that were caught, I think 3 were Hispanic and 3 were black. That's only 6 of the 30 that were caught. There's still other people they're trying to catch. catch. And it's really coming out to it being simple theft because, yes, somebody sprayed the security guard with mace, but nobody knows who that was.
Right.
They didn't break anything. They didn't break.
Right.
It wasn't like a break-in where they broke the glass to cut the alarm and get in. They opened the door, grabbed some stuff. It's considered petty theft. All Nordstrom's can really do is trespass them from the property for petty theft.
And I wonder if that's the case, you know, because I thought the petty theft was based on the amount. If something is priced at under $990 or something crazy like that, if you go in there and get yourself a bag, one of those expensive Gucci bags, that's over $1,000. So no longer is it petty theft, right? You're going to get into
It's grand larceny.
It's going into grand larceny, and then here's the thing. And if it happens in Georgia, folk, for people who are following this Trump case, that they throwing them RICO charges around like crazy. So whoever gets those first 2 or 3 people get caught up, all 30 of y'all about to get on RICO charges for this stuff. So y'all better slow down.
You ain't said nothing but a word. Because if they did this in Georgia, they did the Lululemon. I don't know if those guys would consider RICO just 2 of those guys, but they caught those guys 15 minutes later. Right? They caught them right down the road. But if you're flash mobbing at Lenox Mall and it's 30 of you all who do that, you'll get charged with the RICO because you guys had cars waiting. You guys had to get organized to do this, to have the cars waiting. You took the license plates off of everybody's cars to do this. That's extensive planning.
Yeah.
That's a RICO charge.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
also wanted to bring up the fact that this has been happening in California for a while in Southern California. These flash mobs aren't new.
Right.
I mean, 30 people doing it is kind of new, but I've seen multiple stories. The amount of theft and robbery that's going on in Southern California is ridiculous. I don't know if you remember about a year ago, the mom was pushing her stroller after a run and went into her gate and they squeezed in behind her. Like she wasn't paying attention. She was trying to get her, you're trying to get your baby ready, whatever. The gate's closing. They squeezed in behind the kind of gate, put a gun to her head and steal her purse and her baby bag. Because her baby bag was name brand. And she was just like in her own driveway.
Yeah.
You know, there have been celebrities in California, the Real Housewives of Atlanta star Dorit. They broke into her house and stole all of her jewelry, all of her watches, tied her up. She had to get free to get her phone. I would honestly, people are like, would you rather live in racist Florida or dangerous LA? I'm like, I'd take racism for 1,000, Alex. I appreciate that. Because
don't act like Florida ain't dangerous now. Stop.
I can leave my keys in my car right now and my car would not get stolen. And maybe it's the safety of living in Mineola, Florida, but I feel like you have the same safety in your neighborhood. Y'all live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but I don't play around. I got security all over this house, and because it don't take but one. It don't take but one situation, right? Yeah, and that's just where we are, you know. And I don't know, man. I just we're in a real weird time, man. Real dangerous times right now, where people are really desperate.
Sucks. My dad called me about this. He's like, "Are you going to talk?" Because my dad called because he always gives us stories to talk about the show. And he was saying how there's a school in Tampa where the kids were coming to school drunk and high. And they couldn't figure out where they were doing it at because the parents were like, no, that would never allow them in the house, blah, blah, blah. And the bus driver was like, well, you guys never asked me. It's actually happening on my school bus. And they were like, what are you talking about? Why aren't you saying anything? He's like, well, what am I supposed to do? You guys don't give us any power as bus drivers. We're just transportation. I would like them not to do it on the bus, but they do it and they come to y'all to school.
You know,
but this generation sucks. They suck.
Man, they, you know, and raising kids in this generation right now, you know, my 10 and 12-year-olds, I'm just looking at them. And, you know, we cover them, we try to teach them and make sure that they keep their heads on a swivel and understand what they're dealing with as far as their contemporaries, because it's just nuts, man. It's just the way these cats are moving. And, you know, like somebody who's grew up, you know, I didn't grow up in suburbs. I live in the suburbs now, but like many of us, you know, we call ourselves being the Jeffersons and moving out. But we still got that sensibility. We understand where we came from. And you can feel that type of tension and energy. You talk about invasions. RIP to the godfather of entertainment, Clarence Avant, who passed away a little under a week ago. But if you remember, about a month ago, about a year ago, his house was broken into and his wife was murdered. This was about a year and a half ago.
I remember that
in California. I remember that. And that was a home invasion. They say that's what that was. Jacqueline Avant. So you're talking about someone who's, and that's the thing about it. There's a lack of respect. Like, come on, man.
Lack of respect.
It's Clarence Avant, right? This is the you know, the Black Godfather. This is somebody who everybody from Jamie Foxx to Diddy to Bill Clinton to Barack Obama sings his praises.
But even that, but the woman with her baby. Why are you robbing a woman with her baby who's just
That's my
coming in from
point.
a walk?
That's my point.
Well,
If you are a
there's no
criminal
value.
and you see this woman with a child, like go to the next victim. And I hate to be so crass with it, but at least show some respect for a woman with a mother with her child. These folks have no respect, man. And I hate to be sounding like the old dude in the club and get off my lawn, but we are there. This is some insanity that's going on.
You don't sound like that because even when you look at the Kai Cenat situation where he had people come out for the free PS5s in Central in not Union Square in New York.
New York, yeah.
And Kai, I truly believe, did not think it was going to happen like that. But like I said, this generation sucks. They didn't just pull some Taylor Swift or Mr. Beast thing where they're just following his car around and maybe they're blocking traffic.
Right.
They started fighting. They started damaging property. They started damaging random people's cars who just at work. They just at work. And they come out and their car is destroyed.
Yeah.
What is the point of that? Again, I say this, the generation sucks. And I believe this is the generation of it's almost like the baby's mama generation. Mm-hmm. My age group, who, maybe a little younger, but my age group and up, or would it be my age group? Yeah.
Yeah. People your age got badass teenagers running around town. Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. It's when the baby mamas group or the I'm gonna live life, be a stripper, make money group. These group people had kids. Now these kids are teenagers and they suck.
Yeah. There you go. And it's not all of them, but it's becoming to be too many of them. It ain't most. We ain't gonna say it's most.
Let me tell you why it's most. I live in Mineola, Florida. I had a birthday party for my child yesterday. It was mostly the special needs kids from this class, but one of the special needs boys has a twin who's
anecdotal example.
It's not anecdotal. Who's neuronormal. That's what we're supposed to say. Thank you, people. Whatever. Neuronormal is what you're supposed to say when someone is regular. It's neuronormal. Don't make me explain it. Anyway.
What is regular? Well, no, you got to explain that now. What's neuronormal? What?
So my child is special needs.
Yes.
And kids who are not special needs are neuronormal.
Okay.
Anyway, the neuronormal boy comes up to me. He's like, yeah, Devin's so cool. I'm so, I feel bad about what the football team did to him. I was like, what football team? What are you talking about? Oh, yeah, they were getting Devin to touch girls' butts and stuff, and they got in a lot of trouble for us. Like, what are you talking about? It gets better.
And nobody told you. The school.
It gets weirder. The dad goes, was Devin in that group of boys? I'm like, what group of boys? Like, Elmar's listening. He's peeped up too. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? They're like, wait, Devin wasn't in that group. It was these 3 other boys in the special needs classes. So a group of football players got a boy named Cole and a boy named Adrian to walk up to girls and grab their breasts and grab their butt. Those boys were not expelled. All those boys got was suspended and a hard time with their football coach. Even though my child wasn't part of that, if I was a parent that it was Devin, you all are getting expelled because this is predatory behavior. You are using special needs kids to abuse other young girls at your school.
Correct. All right.
We can move on, but I'm just saying it's not so much anecdotal as it's these kids are awful.
It's larger pockets of all, and a lot of it has to do with this social media and having access and want to be able to be the next viral moment. And y'all gonna be the viral moments for the wrong stuff. That's on the horizon. All right, let's move on. Let's get into this conversation about the Tua family and the Blind Side situation. Tui family. So for people not following the story, Michael Oher, who's a now NFL veteran, who was the subject of the Blind Side movie back in, early 2000s. I say roundabout early to mid 2000s. And so anyway, so now he's been signed. He was never adopted. He's under this conservatorship. We touched on this a little bit in the last show. Yeah. But now he wants, he's suing supposedly the Tui family, and there's one of our resident industry jerks who tends to stay busy. God. Yeah.
Not the human milk dud.
This guy, Jason Whitlock. Who happens to always have something to say, contrarian to most things that most black people believe, and of course, it is what it is. But this was his take on this Tui situation. Of course, I get to spin the cycle as soon as I Let's see if we can get it to refresh.
Well, while we're waiting on that to spin, I think a very interesting part of the story is that the news even has broken that fans are requesting that Sandra Bullock, who starred in the Oscar-winning film The Blind Side, portraying
me.
Oh,
Go ahead. Finish your thoughts.
Oh, that the actress Sandra Bullock, who played Mrs. Tui in the film, should actually give back her Oscar. And a lot of people are like, "What are y'all talking about?" See, y'all always want to take stuff an extra step that nobody asked about. Like, she doesn't need to give back her Oscar for this film, but go ahead and play the human milk dud. He grew hair back. That ain't nothing but transplants.
And how does it impact my brand? And that's what Michael Oher is really complaining about. Hey, this movie didn't enhance my brand. It didn't show me as a 7-year-old developing this brilliant visionary plan to become a professional athlete. And now you have all these people, media people, Mike Florio, others, everybody in corporate media, that's so detached from a biblical worldview, yeah, Michael Oher is right. That movie was about him. It was about his life. It was about everything about it was about him. No, man, the movie was really, and I don't blame him, Michael Oher was part of the story, but the story was about the sacrifice the Tuies made. And I don't have a problem with it because I'm not judging things based off of, well, they're white, and so I can't celebrate their sacrifice. I see the movie, and I rewatched it yesterday, and I saw it when it came out. I see the movie as like, oh, look at these Christians. And look at the sacrifice they're willing to make. And this woman fell out with her friends over allowing this black boy to come into her house with that daughter in her house. Wow, look at these Christians. That's the message. But again, if you have these racial lenses on, look at these white people. And man, they must have been thinking about the money they were going to make off this black kid.
Nobody thought that. What is he talking about? See, this nigga has the worst takes in the history of Negroes. Like that, I've never been more.
He goes on to talk about how the Tuies were already wealthy and that they owned a bunch of restaurants that they sold and blah 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 blah. And so why would they only do this for the money? You act like most wealthy people are just free with their money. Most wealthy people make money and want to make more money, right? So let's not first of all, what does the Bible have to do with this biblical worldview?
Jewish community, you can kiss my butt because you just see what he said about Jesus' crucifixion. Y'all didn't say, are y'all coming after Jason Whitlock about his talking about?
Reel you back in. All right, I got you. We're gonna come back to that. So for Whitlock to take this position that one, this was about biblical worldviews. This is about them letting this black boy up in the house with their daughter in the house. Which, do you realize how? So what are you assuming that black boys can't be adopted because they're gonna do something to the daughter when they get in the house?
I didn't even think about that.
Right. See, there's so many things in this thing that you look at this stuff and said, my God, this dude is so deep in his coonery. It's like, you have got to be kidding me. What does this have to do with the Bible? What does it have to do? Yes, that man should be able to want to have this movie, to have done him. He was just a part of the movie. He was the movie. The Michael Oher character was The Blind Side. Right, you have this hero. What is it? Hero mentality, white savior deal. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. So, Jason Whitlock, man, you can kick rocks, but this guy continues to stay relevant and stay in the conversation by taking these type of positions. And he knows something. This writer and these corporate media people and all the right wing talking points about this position. And you sit back and you're just like, dude, this man is an almost 40-year-old man who says, I want to have control of my own likeness. You acting like this dude is still some college football player. He didn't play 10, 12 years in the league, then retired, then got married, and his wife is probably saying, how are we going to make a living? Huh?
He has 4 kids. He's a grown man.
He's a
4
grown
kids.
man trying to control his own image, his own likeness. These people have made money off him for years, writing books. They've got all. They probably have all of the rights as far as any sort of royalties that are coming from this thing. He wants his fair share, and this nut Jason Whitlock comes out. I just.
Okay, so let me you calm down and let me explain another thing. He's saying it's about money. Everybody keeps bringing about the money. The Tuohys didn't want the money. The Tuohys wanted to be famous. These two things are different. The Tuohys were rich and wealthy beforehand because they owned a bunch of they were into franchising. As someone in the franchising space, I know how much money they can make you. It makes you a lot of money being in the franchise space. And they own, I think, over 100 of them. But they weren't famous. Nobody knew them outside of Tennessee. Nobody gave a damn about them outside of Tennessee. But having the story, there was a book written about it that was written by their friend who left out a lot of key things. For example, for the longest time, I thought Michael Oher was slow. And come to find, he was like, I'm not slow. Like I'm not slow. I've never been slow. This actually hurt me in the NFL draft. Whatever, fine.
Right.
So they wrote this story. They got the rights to the story, this whole thing. The movie comes out. They're on red carpets. They ended up on an episode of Below Deck on Bravo because they rented a yacht and were on Below Deck. They wanted to be famous. And I think for a long time, Michael Oher was fine with that because my family wants to be famous. I'm famous. I'm in the league. So they want to be famous. Who cares? I think you were right that it got to a point where he maybe wanted to do certain things and he had to go ask them, or like, oh, there's this like conjunction thing in there where you got to go talk to them, or when you were, I personally think when he was about to get married, because it's such a big financial decision. Let's say they got a prenup.
Sure.
That prenup is what triggered him to go, what do you mean I have to get a third party signature about my own prenuptial agreement?
Right.
And I think that's what triggered it. Maybe not his wife being so much as what's going on, but so much as it triggered a third party signature. And he has every right to
make money off of himself. That is the part that pisses me off about. Huh?
They shouldn't be allowed to. That should have ended after the movie was over years ago.
If it's all about, like Jason Whitlock said, it is all about, they were just doing it just out of the kindness of their hearts. If they were doing it out of the kindness of their hearts and out of the kindness of your heart, write Michael Oher and his family a check for all the money you've made off him for the last 15 years. Write over certain percentages of the royalties that you're getting from this film. That's the part that never makes sense to me. If you're making money off of these scenarios and you've made so much money, and this is the record industry, this is producers, any projects that I've worked on or any project I plan on working on in the foreseeable future, if it's not me who's the focus, I want the person who this story is about to be proud of this product. So now you got a situation where Michael Oher is out here bad-mouthing the product. It's been out here for 15 years. And you guys could have just kept him quiet by making sure that he was a part of the process. He was a part of the money that was being made. And the greed that's in this industry in all facets always gets under my skin because it's pointless. Everybody's making money. If you give them 2 points, 3 points, 4 points on it, then let them make some money off of it and do the tour. They can be touring with this story for forevermore.
I think that's the interesting part about it
greed is
too.
not, but go ahead.
But yeah, and also if it was so, again, altruistic is my new favorite word. It was so altruistic. You guys, as soon as he graduated from college, is when the conservatorship should have ended.
Correct.
Technically.
Correct.
Like if you got at 18, that's how you had to do the adoption. You want to make sure he's making good decisions, sign up for college, whatever. Once he graduated from college, or even once he got into the league, okay, hey, Michael, we're ending this conservatorship because of blah, blah, blah reason, or we can adjust it if you're cool with that.
We can adjust it. You can, hey, Mike, we love you. How about just, we want to end this conservatorship and you write us in for 5% on your first contract, just because. You think Michael Oher would you think Michael Oher wouldn't have done that? You think he wouldn't have done that? Of course he would have done that. And then everybody would have still been having Thanksgiving dinner together. Everybody would still been feeling like we were all family. Now, 15 years later, you got the son running around talking smack about Michael Oher. Michael Oher now wants to move on with his life. And it's all over money. Jason Whitlock is always money.
And then they've been saying, oh, Michael Oher has been trying to shake us down for years. So that should have been a sign that you guys that something was wrong. You guys owed him money. Like he wasn't shaking you guys down for some random reason. You guys had a conservatorship over him, which has been proven because you guys just released him from the conservatorship.
Right.
You guys were making all this money that should have gone to him. So yes, he's asking for money. If you guys would have given him the money, adjusted the conservatorship, nobody would know about this. Your foundation that's about to go up in flames. And now black teenagers are like, hey, we were racially profiled by her, but we didn't know it until we saw her Facebook post, which that's also happened in Tennessee. People in Tennessee hate them. They're the worst tippers, apparently. They're rude to service people, and all these people are coming out now. You guys could have given him the $15 million just at the curve of conservatorship, and you'd probably be the grandparents to his grandchildren right now.
Right. You would be in the mix, but now he has no more use for you. He doesn't have an NFL contract. He's just another nigga out here who's looking for some money, and that's what you guys want to run with it. All right,
And he's not broke. Where did this "he was broke" thing come from?
Because it's always this assumption. It's always that all NFL players, once they leave the league, they're all broke. That's a lie. I know plenty of NFL players that I know that have started businesses. They've gone on to get law degrees, medical degrees. They're entrepreneurs. They're in real estate. They're doing just fine. So
it's just those 2000, 2010 football players that are broke. It's just that small window of people. They're broke.
All right. Let's lighten up the load here a little bit. Let's get into our how and what for the week.
Britney Spears. Is that our how and what? Is it Britney Spears?
No, Britney Spears is not our how and what of the week. You're the one who wanted to talk about. You wanted to talk about Usher and Keke Palmer and what's going on with that. We can come back to Britney Spears. I don't know what the world you're talking about Britney Spears. All right, checkmate. Keke Palmer's
divorced.
Huh?
She's getting divorced, and guess who everybody's blaming for her divorce? Plies, the rapper.
You got to tell me to take a sip of something before you and we'll come back to that. All right, checkmate. Keke Palmer, the star, is leading lady in Usher's boyfriend video, which has already come out. I haven't seen it. I have no desire to see it. So, what was your what spin on this Keke Palmer outside of the fact that she didn't ran this little bit of tweet and it ran into the ground and she about to be a baby mama in the span of 3 weeks?
Keke, sweetie, you have run your brand into the ground because of this stupid situation. Honestly, at first we blamed your little raggedy light-skinned boyfriend. I don't teach you to date a light-skinned man and have a baby by him, but now it's just you. Now you just doing stuff just to antagonize the situation, and I can't be on your side for that, sweetie. I really can't. Originally, we all were on her side saying, dude, you could have just checked her at home. Yeah, you did not need to call her out on social. You what?
I was never on Keke Palmer's side.
You were. We'll play it back. You were.
If I was, I forgot I was. I'm just telling you. From what I remember right now.
You're such a traitor. What you said was basically that him checking her in public on social media was stupid.
Like me.
Not that he had an issue. Yeah, not that he had an issue with her outfit. It was the same thing with Jonah Hill's ex. Like, why y'all putting this out here for the world to see? It's stupid. But now, Keke, you're in his music video. You're making these subliminal tweets. You out here wearing extra stuff that you ain't got no business wearing. It is getting a little like, ooh, I got some attention. It's different from my Disney attention or from my ABC attention, so I'm just going to have a good time. Girl, you looking thirsty and desperate and corny. You're giving corny vibes. Hey, I think he's giving corny vibes.
I just, but she's always kind of came off jive corny, though. Keke Palmer's always
cute before.
Huh?
It was cute corny before.
Okay. She is how old is Keke? Is she about your age? No, she's like 30. She's still young, right?
She's younger than me. She's younger than me. I want to say she's 33.
Yeah. So, for some reason, I think I saw this story you were talking about. Now, tell me how in the world what in the world does Plies have to do with Britney getting divorced? Help me to understand. Please help me to understand how this goes.
Okay.
Please.
So Britney Spears loves being on Instagram in teeny tiny panties, like the smallest panties that ever exist. They might be like a size 4T. I don't know, but they're very teeny tiny panties. She is wearing a crop top shirt, and she loved to like dance and hit her moves and the whole thing. Like it's always this. It's always giving J Set from an HBCU kind of moves. Okay. And Plies, every time she posts one, he gets on lives to make his followers watch. Look how sexy she is. Look how tiny these panties are. Like, ooh, Britney Spears is like, it was every single time she would post one. Every time. And he'd just be laughing like, oh man, she's this. She's so, I can't wait to give me a white girl like Britney Spears to be spinning around the house.
I have not. When is the last song Plies and put a song out? He don't have to put no more music out. I'm just going to be a troll on the internet. So this says Plies subtly shoots his shot. at Britney Spears following her split from husband. Plies is feeling lucky and has subliminally attempted to woo Britney Spears following reports of her split from husband Sam Asghari. Sound like he might be Middle Eastern by the last name. The Busted Baby Part 2 rapper. When
Look,
the
look
last
at the
time
screen. Look at the screen.
I've seen. Stop it! Stop it! Oh God!
How tiny are those underwear?
You are 40 plus years old. See, that's the reason why Victor Wembanyama's bodyguard smacked her up, because she came up looking drunk with them same type of boots, except they were black, and she. Man, please take that off the screen.
Okay, and she's turned her comments off because a lot of people are like, "Can you just put some pants on, or put some regular size underwear on? Either way, pants or regular size underwear." But so Sam Asghari has actually been with Britney for 6 years, and they've only been married for 14 months. And a lot of people saw this coming for her, that he was going to use her, and now he's trying to contest their prenup.
Who's using her?
He did. Sam Asghari, her soon-to-be ex-husband.
So how is he using her? Help me. What am I missing?
Because he was with her for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
He only been married to her for 14 months, and now all of a sudden he cannot take it anymore, but you could take it before. And he's contesting the prenup so that he can get alimony. And that's people are saying that she's getting used. But I don't think he'll be able to contest it. I also feel this is another one of those examples where everybody hated the conservatorship. That conservatorship was needed. I'm sorry. It made me.
This is Britney needs to take some responsibility for her actions. You out here in these internet streets and wearing some panties that a 6-year-old should be wearing, and you
another video.
I don't want to see no more of that mess. Come on, man, stop it. You know, and the husband now somehow is wrong. No, husbands are like, okay, I did not sign up for this crap. You know,
here's her topless in bed on her Instagram. Oh, I don't know when. Oh, wow, she's naked. Okay, so like, why are you Britney? Why?
God's sakes, more these daggum internet streets. And please don't show me no more Britney Spears. Oh, God, stop it. I'm about to cut your camera off. I'm about to cut you off. All right.
By the way, I got a new phone. You see how good my new phone is? I can hold it right up to the camera.
Oh, I was going to say, boy, I tell you, boy, them Androids are stepping up, ain't they? All right. So anyway.
I think we had one more what that was really funny.
What was your other what? Let me see. Let me check my list. That's the only thing I had.
Marcus Jordan and Larsa Pippen talking about getting married.
So for people who don't know, Marcus Jordan is Michael Jordan's son. Larsa Pippen is Scottie Pippen's ex-wife.
Oh, sorry.
Scottie Pippen's ex-wife. She probably pushing 50 years old. And
yes.
And now she get ready to marry Michael Jordan. These people in these so messy in these streets, man. It's just like the internet. Boy, I swear for goodness, if somebody gonna hire her to be on some reality show sooner than later to push this garbage.
She's already on a reality show. She stars on The Real Housewives of Miami. She's been on that show since its inception, and it's come back with her on it.
Is that the one? Is that the one that has what's her name? Sukiana? Is she on that one, or she's on something else?
No, she's on a whole other network doing something else crazy. Real Housewives of Miami is what the other housewives shows used to be. They rebooted it. It's only extremely wealthy women who live a certain lifestyle. And Larsa
Pippen really wealthy? Is she?
From her divorce, she's well off. She lives in a $1 million building.
Okay.
She has her 2 kids, so she's still getting child support from the 2 kids. She's getting alimony, and she has an extremely successful OnlyFans channel.
Oh, I'm sure she does.
OnlyFans at 50, it's disgusting. I would never want to degrade myself like that, and she doesn't have a problem with it. But she makes about $1 million a year from her OnlyFans, so she's well off. Okay. But the problem that everybody is having is this doesn't make any sense. There's no way a 50-year-old woman who doesn't plan on having any more children, even though she said I'd be open to it at freaking 50, should be dating a boy.
Had a baby at 49, so.
You said that on our meeting, and I'm not sure the point you're trying to make.
The point is people are having babies old now. Yeah.
Yes, but they never had any children. DeBrat and her wife had never had children since their first baby together. Larsa has 3 children. So why are you trying to start over from scratch again?
Hey, maybe I don't have the feeling Marcus Jordan, because Marcus ain't that young. He's got to be pushing 40, late 30s.
He's my age.
Okay, so right. So
38.
Yeah, so maybe he don't want to have kids either. He just want to run around with Lars Pippen and live his life in Miami. Maybe that's what he wants to do.
But why? It seems so stupid. You're Marcus Jordan. You are Michael Jordan's son. By the way, what does this Negro do for a living? No one has ever said that. Does he work?
What does Paris Hilton do for a living? Like, you're a Hilton, he's a Jordan. He don't have to do nothing.
Well,
He's
Paris
a
owns
Jordan.
several companies and 5 different brands.
And it started from the money that she has from the Hilton family. It's not like she built it from the bottom up. Stop.
Well, cool, but what is Marcus? Did he sell something?
Who knows?
Is
He might be a
just
real
living off
estate.
his
He might be a
family
real
money?
estate guy. Who knows? What we know is that his daddy makes a lot of bread, and you know, he's the biggest one of the biggest brands in the world, and he's legacy. So
He makes 440. His dad makes $440 million from Nike alone a year. So that's
right.
great. But
right, he got
anyway,
a trust fund, baby. Yeah. Speaking of the brat, and I forget her
Big Booty
wife's name.
Judy.
Her name is something else. She's
It's
Judy.
Big Booty Judy.
She got a real name with a real business, a very successful business. Anyway,
Kaleidoscope is her business. Kaleidoscope Hair Care is her business.
Hair Care is her business. I think her name is Duplantis or do something. Anyway.
Dupart.
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 You know her name, then get me out of this Big Booty Judy conversation. So anyway,
sorry.
It passes me on my social media feed, and she's rolling up on the brat, and they playing around, and she's like, "Oh, we working on baby number 2," and I was like, "How does that work?"
Girl, if you don't get out of my face. Well, I mean, it could work. I mean, I would suggest they get a surrogate the second time
of course
around.
It's a surrogate. It's impossible for the two of them to create a child. Stop.
Well, no, dum-dum. You know DeBrat carried the baby, right?
I know DeBrat carried the baby, but my point is that they were being intimate, and she's talking about we're working on baby number 2. And I just had to scroll on by.
Ew.
I had to scroll on by, like, okay, let me keep your comments to yourself.
I am happy for DeBrat, but DeBrat is, I don't know, people all think being emotional about being a mom is so cute, but I'm like, oh wow, look, we're just showing postpartum all on Instagram, because she's crying at every second. Every time you have the camera on DeBrat, she's crying at emotion. I'm like, oh yeah, that's postpartum. That's interesting.
One story we did not talk about, and I want to get this in, and I promise not to let it piss me off before we get up out of here. No, this isn't the story I wanted. I wanted this story. Former Mississippi Goon Squad cops plead guilty to state charges related to torture of 2 black men. If people don't know this story, there were 2 black men in Mississippi, and maybe I can find the city real quick. It is in Rankin County. Bottom line is, these 2 black men, one black man was in there taking care of a white woman in a white woman's house, taking care of her. Some neighbors reported it to the police. They sent this goon squad over there, and they decided to break in there and torture these because I guess it was his friend that was there with them. They tortured these 2 black men to the point that they even shot one of them through the mouth that went out through his neck. And somehow he wasn't charged with attempted murder, which is interesting to me, that they did not get that charge. They were all former officers pleaded guilty to conspiracy, obstruction of justice, hinder prosecution, aggravated assault, home invasion, first-degree obstruction of justice, but no attempted murder in these charges. The officers, 5 defendants, Hunter Elwood, Christian Dedmon, Brett McAlpin, Jeffrey Middleton, and Daniel.
The gun wasn't loaded. The gun wasn't loaded.
He got shot. The bullets went through his mouth. I saw the kid in the interview. He was like, he showed where the bullet exited his back of his neck.
Well, this article says mock execution.
Yeah, the mock was the bullet went
off. And the bullet going up the back of your neck will kill you. So that's a little.
Well, no, it can exit out of, it can exit. A bullet won't. The bullets won't get into that, but bullets exiting is actually a good thing, right? It's the bullets that stay in bodies that are kill. But the bottom line is this is 2023, and you have people in Mississippi, officers of the law that are still torturing people in 2023.
So this is interesting. I'm reading all the article, and I've read several other articles. So there's separate things. They're facing federal charges and state charges.
Must be federal hate charges. It has to be federal hate crimes.
Yes, it's federal hate crime charges, federal hate crime charges, and federal state charges. Their lawyers apparently are trying to get both the state and the federal charges to run concurrently, meaning at the same time.
Okay.
The federal government is like, nah. These are going to run consecutive, meaning you'll do your state time and then you'll do your federal time, which could be anywhere ranging from 30 years, which that's what you want to hear is that they're going to
absolutely.
get
The fact that justice is
they should
being
be getting
served.
life for what they
Yeah.
did because it's completely disgusting because there's no reason. There's so many people who are police officers who don't need to be police officers. That's black, white, male, female. They don't need to be police officers.
Right.
It's
Well,
disgusting.
so some of them take those jobs because it gives them the ability to bully and be, be what they are, except with guns and a badge and authority. But the fact that they were not charged with attempted murder, I don't get that. But it is Mississippi, right? And each state has their own laws and the way they do things in Mississippi. I guess you can shoot somebody, I guess, because the bullet exits the neck. I don't know. Anyway. All right, so we're glad
the
that
good
thing.
news
Go ahead.
is the goon squad, just like the 5 black men in Tennessee, every case these guys ever worked, all of them have been overturned for both the goon squad and the black guy cops. Whether these people are guilty or not, the state, there's nothing we can do because they did this. That means everything gets overturned, and we have to sort it out after the fact.
Yeah,
which
all
is
that
good,
stuff
I guess,
is
in
gonna come
some
back up.
ways.
Yeah. So we're getting a lot more law degrees. Stop it. Hold on. I got something.
Who has white boots?
I got something for
Who
you.
has white boots?
I'm taking you off the screen. I cannot deal with you and this Britney Spears nonsense. So before we get up out of here, make sure y'all keep an eye out on what's going on in Georgia. I'm done with you. With Fannie Willis, DA Fannie Willis, she is bringing all the smoke. We're going to see how this continues to transpire. I know I'm tired of turning on MSNBC and CNN. All they talking about is this daggum trial because it's 6 months plus away. So it ain't happening tomorrow. So find something else to talk about. And so by the time I get back on the show next week, I'm going to have all my recaps on Force Live, LL Cool J, De La Soul, Rakim, Jazzy Jeff.
Well, how did Tracy like the Beyonce concert?
She came back and said it was amazing. Beyonce saw Beyonce last week, and everybody I know here in Atlanta was all singing her praises. It's wild. Some of the people I was seeing in sequence on Facebook, like Beyonce got.
It was a lot of sequence. It was a lot of midriffs.
50-year-old people in mid dresses and everybody out there joining sequins and cowboy hats. I said, y'all are hilarious.
Cowboy boots, sparkles. They got on tight splits up to here. When Beyonce comes to town, it's transformative for everybody.
Y'all can front. All y'all to be trying to front on Beyonce like she's not what she is. Beyonce's on a very short list of all-time black performers. A very short list. Michael Jackson, Prince,
Tina Turner,
Beyonce in the top 5, Janet Jackson. They are all, that's the short list. And if you don't believe that's a short list, holla at your boy so we can get into this conversation because Beyonce has been doing this now for over 20, maybe close to 25 years. It's pushing. She was late. Destiny's Child is the late 90s. So Destiny's Child's got to be 98, 99, 2000, somewhere around in there.
It might be right at 2000. The Writings on the Wall is when that came out.
Yeah. So and Beyonce has been very consistent with this between Destiny's Child as the biggest group in the world and her as the biggest individual performer. Ain't nobody bigger than her right now than Skinny
Taylor
Girl.
Swift.
Taylor
It's
Swift.
her and Taylor Swift who are running.
Taylor Swift. And then the other thing that a lot of people are not paying attention to right now, if you notice, a lot of the current artists are not touring right now because this summer, hip hop has been taking all the money off the table. And the old head hip hop. Right now, you got Busta Rhymes on tour, 50 Cent's on tour, LL's on tour, Snoop's on tour.
My brother just saw him in Tampa.
Snoop's on tour. And then you got these individual concerts that are coming. There's another old school hip hop show that's going to be here. So a lot of the little babies and the babies and all, they are like, we can't rock with them this summer. Everybody is talking about 50 years of hip hop. And y'all don't, unfortunately, y'all supposed to be hip hop, but y'all not included in this conversation. This is about the old heads, and I'm here for every bit of it.
Honestly, Miguel, when you think about it, the only white person touring right now is Taylor Swift. What other big white person name is touring right now?
I don't know. I'm sure they're out there somewhere. I don't know. I'm not.
I follow white people. I think it's just Taylor.
That's not running on my thread. I don't know who else is out there. Doja Cat. I don't know. Understand what's going on. Doja Cat or who else is big out there? Katy Perry. I don't know if she's big right now.
Katy Perry is not touring. Pink, wrapped up her tour. She's doing little
Okay.
small things. She's not
Okay.
touring.
Okay.
Is Jason Aldean big? I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
think so.
they
He not
talking about
touring.
his song dropped so fast off the charts. And I'm pretty sure country music, there's probably some country people we don't know about.
Oh,
That's doing well.
because black people started using it in their songs after the Montgomery Brawl. That's our song now.
He said, that's our song now. So shout out to hip hop. Great summer. And then coming up in the fall here in Atlanta, they had, because even when the 50 years was going on in New York, they had a 50 years concert here in Atlanta that was bananas with T.I. and Goody Mob and JD and a bunch of the Atlanta scene. And then in the fall, the One Music Fest, which is amazing here in Atlanta, they got Janet coming back, Kendrick Lamar, and some. It's going to be a 2-day festival. It's going to be, One Music Fest is off the chain. So shout out to music, shout out to live music. After 2 or 3 years of that better not be who. Oh, is that the Babies? Okay, I can look at that all day long. I thought you were about to pull up some more Britney Spears. There go my nephew. What's up, nephew? All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all. Sunday night, y'all go and enjoy your evening, and y'all look for my hip hop, my LL post coming in this couple of days. Peace. Bye bye.